welcome to Screen Sports coverage of the National Hockey League, which today comes from the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, and features the Flames against the Chicago Blackhawks. Going into the game, the Blackhawks lead the Norris division with 72 points from 53 games, the best record in the NHL. But Calgary are no slouches either. They're tucked in just behind the Kings in second place in the Smythe division. There's an excited crowd of over 20,000 in the Saddle Dome to watch the game. Let's go over and join them.
It has been a road series between these two teams. Both in the previous meetings, the road team has been victorious. The Flames walked into Chicago Stadium and beat the Hawks 3-1. The Blackhawks return the favor here in the Saddle Dome 5-3. Tonight's referee is Rob Schick. The linesmen will be Mike Civic and Mark Vine.
Ed Belfour once again, the workhorse this year for the Blackhawks. 50th appearance, 2.39 goals against average, 31 wins, leading the league. And his counterpart tonight will be Mike Vernon, voted into the All-Star game by the fans. 19, 14, and 2, but he had a brilliant performance the other night against the Rangers. He stopped 27 of 28 shots, getting a 5-1 win after losing 2 in a row prior to that.
Troy Murray will open up for Chicago between Dirk Graham and Steve Thomas. And for the Flames, Big Joel Otto will be the trigger man to start the game. He'll have Paul Fenton on the left side and Mark Hunter on right wing. And here's the draw. Controlled by the Hawks, Steve Conroy shoots it into the Calgary zone. McCowan hacks it to the far side. And now Fenton fought off a check and did well to clear it back into the Chicago zone. Taken by Manson, gave it to Thomas on the left wing board. Back to Manson out to center. He'll drive it into the Calgary zone. Thomas gets there in the near corner. He took a hit from Natras. Thomas still tries to jam it out of there. He does to Murray. His shot from a bad angle, kicked away by Vernon easily. Into behind the net now. Thomas digs it out of there, moves it with a backhander. It's blocked by Fenton, and then swept back into the Chicago zone. And it's going to be an icing call against the Flames.
Well, this line starting off tonight where they finished off last night with excellent forechecking. Some good hard work by both Graham and Thomas and Troy Murray as they did last night. Forechecking was the key, though they ended up losing the game in overtime. But you got to look at Mike Keenan earlier and Doug Risebrough in his first full season as a head coach, the former Canadian and Flame player who had a lot of success as a player, winning a lot of Stanley Cups. Very aggressive centerman. He and Mario Tremblay used to drive me nuts.
How am I doing as they pass the baton to me? Here's the draw, shot back into the Hawk zone. Yanni has to hurry, couldn't get it out. Over to the far side. Gilmore hacked it into the corner. Now Roenick able to pick it up there and clear it back to the neutral zone. Al McInnes sends it back into the Chicago end, and Belfour clears it himself out to center. Jeremy Roenick turning there. Gave it to Yanni. Now Goulet. Bounced away from him, however, in the Flames. Fleury gets over the Hawk line. Drops it in front. Gilmore shoots. That was blocked out in front of the net. Coming to the near side. McInnes, a long drive. Didn't get much on it. It fluttered. There's going to be a Hawk penalty. Belfour kicked that long shot away. Now behind the net. A big hit delivered by Yanni, and a penalty now will be called against the Hawks as Gilmore got leveled by Yanni. But prior to that, Rob Schick had chopped the arm up into the air, and the Flames are going to get the game's first power play.
We have to be very careful. Everyone realizes this is going to be a physical game, but you can't take any unnecessary penalties. Both these teams with explosive power plays. Number 1 and number 2 ranked power plays coming in tonight. Trent Yanni with the first penalty. He leveled Gilmore. Cross-checking him. And now they're going to give Yanni a double minor. Wow, that's a tough call by Schick. A hook on Goulet, let go, and then Yanni gets a double minor. So this a tough situation for the Blackhawks. It didn't appear to be that difficult of a cross-check. It certainly was a cross-check, but they're calling that penalty more and more when the player's in no man's land like that. They're 2 feet away from the board.
It seemed to me that I thought Schick had his arm up in the air before that shot was delivered by Yanni, and I think that there was an initial call made, and then the cross-checking call made after the fact, after the first call was ruled by Schick. So the Flames with a golden opportunity here at the start of the game to draw first blood, a 4-minute power play opportunity for Calgary.
60 for 260 on the power play, second overall. And the key, their two defensemen, they really spread your box quite far apart. McGinnis and Suter will draw a lot of attention, and then that gives the forwards a lot more room in the middle of the ice in the offensive zone. The Hawks have been excellent killing penalties this year. They've only allowed 17 against on the road this year.
Makarov put it into the near corner, now out to the line. McGinnis a touch pass to Suter on the far side, then he missed McGinnis with a return. And the play is back to center ice where Nieuwendyk cleared it over the line. Fleury breaks in 2-on-1, trying to get it in front of the net. He centered one, and the pass didn't click as Makarov had been yanked to the ice and then went crashing into the goal, and the whistle sound.
Well, McGinnis has 11 power play goals. Nieuwendyk with 14. Fleury carrying the puck in on the quick feed, and he had Makarov breaking in. Larmer at the last second lifted Makarov's stick and prevented Makarov from getting a good scoring opportunity. Fleury with the move and a good defensive play by Larmer. And then Makarov went crashing into the net, knocking off its moorings.
One of the things that's really been bugging Doug Riseborough here lately is the fact that the Flames, in his opinion, have been taking some bad penalties. And their last game, Makarov was the first guy to take a bad penalty, and he sat for about a period and a half. As Riseborough said, I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face. Now I'm going to sit people out if they take foolish penalties. And Makarov was the first recipient of that new rule by the Calgary coach. Here's Conroy into the Calgary zone, shooting it in behind the net. The Hawks in the last 9 games have allowed only 8 power play goals to be scored against them. 8 out of 47 have been scored against Chicago in their most recent outing. Here come the Flames. Nieuwendyk right in. He shoots. Big save. Belfort didn't know where it is. And then Conroy dug it out of the crease and cleared it. What a pass to put Nieuwendyk right to the net. And Belfort made the save, then got help as he couldn't locate the loose puck. But the Hawks able to clear it. And now the Flames back to center with Gilmore. His pass picked out of midair by Chelio. And Gilmore has to turn at center. 3 minutes to go in the Flame power play as Musil dumps it in. Now over to the far corner, Mark Hunter leaves it there. In behind the net now, Gilmore. He tries to feed Otto. It didn't click, and Chelios hammers it out to center. There's going to be a Flame penalty coming as Hunter took a run at Chelios, who's shaken up a bit on the play. And he comes to the Hawk bench in some pain.
It looks like his right shoulder. He really went in and he had to shoot the puck around the boards, and he was sent crashing into the end boards by Hunter, who had knocked him down earlier. And it looks like he injured his right shoulder. He was off balance and in a vulnerable position as he was clearing it around, and it looked like his right shoulder, the top of it, went into the glass.
2 minutes for elbowing.
So an elbowing call on Mark Hunter, which helps the Blackhawks situation with still 2:31 remaining on Yanni's 4-minute penalty. Penalty coming at 3:02.
So 4 aside now with the faceoff coming at center. And here's the draw, controlled by Doug Wilson. His pass to Manson, the return nearly picked off, and then Gilbert able to clear it to center ice. Now Paul Fenton. Doug Gilmore turning in his own end. He got upended by Gilbert, but the play goes on as the Flames come to center, and Musil cleared it over the Hawk line. Then Gilbert able to make a steal. Banks it not out. Musil keeps it in. Musil to the far circle, cuts in there, centered one, picked off by Manson. He failed to clear it. McInnes shoveled one in front, and it deflects to Murray. Roy Murray calming things down for the Chicago team, and he'll get to the Flame line with a long shot, missing the net. Now, the Flames' McInnes stands behind the Calgary goal. Now he clears it to center, stolen there by Steve Conroy. Gave it to Manson, who looks for Larmer, but he didn't see the pass coming, and Gary Suter takes over for Calgary. Got it to Joe Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk in on Conroy, then mishandled it. And it's taken away by Dave Manson, clearing to center and Larmer. Larmer gets the flame line, has Conroy coming, gave it to him, he's in, he shoots, and a save by Vernon. Rebound, Chelios, a shot, he shot it wide. He shot it left-handed and shot it wide. Chelios, as he's done all year, changed the stick from right to left and fired a slapper, but just missed an open net. Now the Flames look to counterattack. Here's McInnes over the line. Had his pocket pick. Hawks on the counterattack. It's going to be a 2-on-1. Roenick puts Larmer over the line. He fires. Hit Vernon up high, and he's hurt. And the play continues. Now the whistle sounds as Steve Larmer fired a high, hard shot right off the face mask of Mike Vernon. And Jim Bearcat Murray, the Calgary trainer, out there in a hurry to have a look at the goaltender.
I think he was on the ice before the whistle blew. That's how quickly he got to help out Vernon on that wicked shot. Second odd man opportunity in this shift for the Blackhawks. The Conroy's shot stopped by Vernon. The rebound to Chelios on an empty net. Then countering again, Roenick to Larmer, and bang, right off the helmet. Vernon goes down. And Murray hustles out to protect the all-star goaltender. A very nervous time for Mike Vernon. Makes a great save on Conroy. Conroy was looking to pass off and then hesitated just a little bit, allowing Vernon to recover and make the save. And then Chelios going to the left-handed shot, just sort of fluttered it wide of the empty net.
Rick Wamsley is the backup tonight for Calgary. He's gone out to have a look at Mike Vernon, and Vernon's been cut. That shot by Larmer right through the face mask or the headgear, and has cut Vernon on the forehead, it appears, and looks like Wamsley is going to get the headgear on and get ready to play.
Well, Roenick, a tired shift. He's already been up the ice once and back. Gives it to Larmer, and Larmer tries to go high with McCown sliding in front of him, and he hits Vernon just where the face mask meets the helmet. I think that's where it hit. And it cut him. The pressure of the shot splitting open his forehead.
Well, Mike Vernon gets a nice hand as he is helped to his feet. We're scoreless early in Calgary.
With a couple of good saves as the Blackhawks counter, but prior to that, Nieuwendyk set in on a power play by McInnes, and Belfour makes a terrific save in the very dangerous Nieuwendyk. That was the Calgary Flames' best chance of the period. The Hawks have had two wonderful chances here in this last shift. Meanwhile, Rick Wamsley comes in. This will be his 18th appearance, 7 wins, 6 losses, and 3 ties for the former Canadian in blue.
Rick Wamsley has played in both previous games against the Hawks, and he's on now to replace the injured Mike Vernon. And Mike Vernon heads to the Calgary locker room with the trainer and the doctor close behind. Looks as if a stitch or two may be required. Still 4 skaters aside for the next 13 seconds, and a short power play for the Flames. Here's Natras back of his own net. Rick Natras cleared it to the near side. Robert Reichel to center. Reichel tees up a long one. Belfour makes the save and cleared it to the near side. McInnes keeping it in. Flames are on the power play. And McInnes an errant pass. And the Flames have to regroup at center. Mark Hunter there. He'll pound it into the hog zone. Belfour swings it around the near board. Murray gets to it and clears it down the length of the ice. Now that's going to take care of the Chicago penalty as the Flames start away. The Hawk penalty over. Both teams at full strength. Here's Fleury over the line. He feeds to Reichel, who shoots, and a save by Belfour. And he gives no rebound. And one of the Calgary players went crashing to the net, bumped into Belfour, and the puck trickled loose into the goal, but clearly the whistle had sounded well before that. Well, with the game scoreless, back to Calgary in a moment.
The Flames on the tail end of a power play after the 2-minute penalty expired to Hunter. They once again go back to that power play. Belfour makes the save, and then the Blackhawks protecting their goaltender. Manson giving, I believe, Gilmore a swat. Tony McKegney gets his first shift of the night. And his second game as a Blackhawk.
Well, he must be new. He haven't got the spelling right on his jersey. Should be EY. Here's the draw in the Hawk zone taken by McKegney. Cleared it out to center, and Gilbert dumps it into the Calgary zone, taken by McGinnis. Sends it around the boards. Now Neuendijk cleared it to center ice. Gary Roberts after it there. Poked it over the Hawk line. Stolen by Wilson to McKegney. McKegney got it to Creighton into the Calgary zone. Leaves for Gilbert. He lets it go, and his shot is blocked nicely by Moosill, who stepped in front of it. Here's Creighton in behind with a wraparound. Wansley stopped the rebound. Gilbert gets knocked down before he could shoot. And now the Flames look to clear it, but Yanni keeps it in. Bouncing puck to the far side, and Roberts corrals for Calgary. Gary Roberts clearing it out to center ice. Moosill lifts it to the Hawk line, but Roenick is there feeding Larmer. Roberts stops him at center. Now winds up on the stick of Doug Gilmour. And a feed Fleury. Aaron Fleury gave it to Jim Kite, banking it to the Chicago zone. Michel Goulet back to the Blackhawks. Couldn't get it out. Fleury on the near side, then lost it to Roenick. Jeremy Roenick flipped it to the Calgary line. The rush broken up by McCowan. Here come the Flames. Matteau moving in center one, and the stick of Fleury was tied up. Back comes Goulet. 3-on-2 for the Hawks. Goulet in over the Flame line. A wrist shot up off the glass, and it's gloved by Wamsley off the end boards, who then leaves it for Natras. Now cleared to Doug Gilmour at center. He put it to Fleury, who's forced to turn nicely by Chelios, and Chelios knocked down by Gilmour. The play goes on. Here's Fleury over the line, and Thomas got back there defensively. Now Thomas back to the Flame line. He dropped it back to Graham, who shoots, and a save by Wamsley, and he hangs on.
Well, we saw a great game last night in Edmonton, and this has the makings of a great one. The first 7 minutes, end-to-end action. A lot of hard hitting and a very intense rivalry here developing. Almost a playoff-type game for both these clubs.
Face-off will be to the left of Rick Wamsley. As Murray and Otto get ready for the draw. And Otto wins it to Suter. Then he's knocked down by Thomas. And he fell on top of the puck. So the whistle sounds. Gary Suter, one of the premier offensive defensemen in the NHL. 15 points in his last 15 games. And you said it, between he and McGinnis, I'm not sure if there's a more formidable point combination in the league, especially on the power play.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't mind Wilson and Chelios. They're not too bad at it either. But
no question about
these guys have just played together a lot longer, and they know each other a bit better. It's going to take a little time. Wilson and Chelios have had some flashes of brilliance, but it's just a little time. That's all it takes for them to get to know each other better.
Here comes Joel Otto to Mark Hunter over the line, and a nice play by Manson standing up at the Hawk blue line, preventing the rush. Now Suter lifts it to the near side. Kite and Mark Hunter. Hunter rolled it over the Hawk line, and Paul Fenton was ruled to be offside on the play. Paul Fenton, he could share those mileage, airline miles this year. He make a lot of friends. This is the fourth team he's been with this season alone.
Well, Fenton had a great year last year with L.A. and traded. Toronto Maple Leafs picked him up. And then he was traded to Washington in a three-player deal, and then ended up, or a three-way deal, and ended up here in Calgary.
Also been in Winnipeg this year, so Paul Fenton with 4 clubs, and the trading deadline is still a month away. Here's the play now to center with Stu Grimson getting a chance to play tonight for Chicago, dumping it in. Over to the far side, McClellan rolled it to Tim Hunter. Hunter scored a goal in 2 straight games. That's the headline maker here in Calgary. Hunter now center one, a shot. That shot just wide. Coming to the near side. Kite trying to hold it in. He did. Cleared it behind the net. Taken by Lemieux. Jocelyn Lemieux. Sends it around the boards to Dave Manson. Manson pursued Grimson, who banks it nicely to center. Here comes Hudson. Hudson gets the line, but McCowan gets the puck. Jamie McCown with a nice play, clearing to the far board. Held in by McGill. No, not quite, says linesman Mark Vines. The offside whistle blows.
We get word that Mike Vernon will probably not return. A lot of stitches in the forehead, an inverted L cut. Pressure of that cut. It had to hit mostly helmet than face mask, because if it hit the face mask, he probably would not have even gotten cut.
Here's Doug Wilson. Pounding it into the flame zone. McCowan looks to clear, but it's held in by McGill with a long shot. Did they score? That hit Jamie McCowan and deflected in by Wamsley. And Bob McGill gives the Hawks the lead. He had just one goal in his previous 18 games, but Big Daddy scores to make it 1-0.
He'll get credit for it. The shot coming around, McCown didn't fail to clear. Down on one knee, then slaps it and back out. McCown, 2 mistakes in one shift. First he failed to clear, and then he cuts in front, deflects it with his stick. And McGill gets credit for his 3rd goal of the year, and we don't see a moonwalk. He's scoring so many goals now, it's just old hat for him.
McGill's 3rd of the year, unassisted at .915, and McGill not that used to denting the score sheet. Had just a goal and an assist in his previous 18 games, but it's some help there from the Calgary defense to strike first for the Blackhawks tonight. Now it's in the Chicago zone as Matteau and McGill work the corner board. And Ronick looks to clear and did get it to center. Here comes Goulet racing in over the line. He tees it up, shooting. Wamsley stopped it. And the rebound cleared back to center ice. Stefan Matteau to Gilmore. He lost it as he came over the line, and Larmer got tied up at center. Gilmore walks back into the Hawk zone. He got flipped on the play by Larmer. There's going to be a penalty. Then Robert shoots. And he shot it just wide. And as Gilbert controls, the whistle sounds. And Steve Larmer knows it. He heads right to the penalty box. Flames to the power play. 1-0 Hawks.
Steve Larmer, no argument on his part, goes straight to the penalty box. They pull down Gilmore just inside the Hawk line. A hooking call at 10:07, and the Flames will get their 3rd power play. Chelios went for the fake and then cheated a little bit with Fleury coming in on the far side, and Larmer just yanked Gilmore down. The Flames with their 3rd power play here of the first period.
It's Neuendijk, Fleury, and Makarov up in front for Calgary with McGinnis and Suter. Here's the draw. McGinnis at the near point. Walks along the line with it, put it to Suter, back to McGinnis. He slipped it into the far circle. Fleury back to Suter, a long shot. Belfour the save and gave no rebound as Neuendijk had set up shop in front of the goal. And Belfour again with some good work controlling the puck after he makes the stop.
Well, he fought it off and then quickly pounced on it with Neuendijk there and Fleury. And good job by the Blackhawk defense to give Neuendijk and Fleury a bit of a whack to protect their goaltender. McGinnis and Suter on the points, moving it around beautifully. They have to pay so much attention to them high on the points. Fleury, Neuendijk, and Makarov, a very prolific scoring unit on their power play. Makarov, one of the most accurate shooters in the game, with 19 goals and only 63 shots.
Now Ronick and Fleury will go for the draw. And then Ronick tossed out, so Murray comes in.
Who was that, the Phantom of the Saddle Dome?
Here's the draw. Suter at the far point. Tees it up, shoots one. Belfour the save, and again he gives no rebound.
Well, it's important that the Blackhawks clear the front of the net for Suter and McGinnis to shoot so that Belfour can see it. Tough enough to make saves against those prolific scorers, those long shots. They have great shots, both of them. I don't think Suter's is quite the shot that McGinnis in the skills competition, his first crack, 94 miles an hour, winning that at the All-Star weekend.
Ed Belfour tonight is making his 50th appearance of the year out of 55 Blackhawk games. Going for his 32nd win Here's the draw. Suter at the far point. Chipped it in front. Makarov couldn't hold the pass. Coming to the near side. Sergei Makarov put it into the corner. Neuendijk gave it back to the Soviet. Then Makarov threw it across to the far side. Suter centered it. Picked off by Conroy. He has time, and he clears.
Conroy, the former Flame, with a nice read there to step into the passing lane and pick it off.
Now McInnes, with 1:10 remaining in the Flame power play, has trouble with Gilbert, who tries to steal, then got surrounded, and Suter takes it away. Gary Suter now knocked down by Dirk Graham. He looks to pick one off, then Fleury got back, then he lost it to Gilbert. And the Hawks forechecking terrific here in this sequence with Graham and Gilbert. Finally, the Flames able to work it to center ice, as Suter will drive it into the Hawk zone. Belfour able to stop it behind the net. He put it to Chelios with time, and he tries to clear, but it's held into Neuendijk. Cuts up the slot, centered it, goes through in behind the net. Now taken there by the Flames. Gilmore, he's had his pass deflect, taken by McInnes at the near point. Deep slot to Suter. Back to McInnes. He centered. Tip right on, and a save by Belfour. McInnes with a great pass. He looked to his right, then feathered a nice feed into the slot where Gilmore redirected it. And Belfour with a good stop.
Meanwhile, Chelios and Hunter once again have a battle. They got involved in the first part of the Flame power play. And after the save by Belfour on the deflected shot from Gilmore, Hunter comes in, and Chelios right there. The Hawks doing a good job tonight of standing up in front and not allowing a second opportunity at Belfour, but a neat pass from McInnes. Everyone expects him to whip the shot, and he put a soft pass into Gilmore, and Gilmore with a good deflection.
Face off to the right of Ed Belfour. Half a minute to go in the Calgary power play. And the draw taken by Roenick to Creighton. Adam Creighton clears. Now McInnes. Cleared it to center ice. Gilmore rolls it into the Hawk zone. Got to the near side, and Roenick chases it down. Jeremy Roenick motors over the Calgary line, weaving to the slot. Now over to the far side. He's still got it. Now shoots one. It deflects wide to the near corner. The Hawk penalty's over. Both teams at full strength. Here come the Flames. Jamie McCowan cranks one from the Chicago line. Manson blocks it. Then a shot, and a save by Belfour as McClellan got to the loose puck. Matches keeping it in. Back of the net to Robert, centered. Wilson got there to steal it. And Doug Wilson motors back to center ice. Got it to Larmer over the line, trying the return pass, and McCown able to break it up for Calgary. Now Larmer trying to get it back, put it to Thomas. He whipped on the shot. Thomas had a great chance and just trying to snap one quickly. He just whiffed on it, and the play now in the neutral zone on the stick of Roberts. Gary Roberts, 3-on-3 to the Hawk line, and he tries to feed to Paul Fenton, but he was in there ahead of the play with 7 minutes left in the first. 1-0 Chicago.
Thomas had a goal and an assist last night, and had a wonderful scoring opportunity when the blade of his aluminum shafted stick came off with an empty net chance, and a good scoring chance again goes awry as he tried to snap a wrist shot and fanned on it, and it trickled to Mike Hudson, and Hudson couldn't retrieve the puck as it snuck in behind him as he was all alone in front of Walmsley.
Bob McGill's third goal of the year has the Hawks out in front in the game as the draw is shot into the Chicago zone. Taken by Chelios to Murray. Nice backhand pass right to Thomas. Rolled it over the Calgary line. Now Graham got it back to him. He shoots on a save by Walmsley. And Thomas had a glorious chance there, but Walmsley beat him. They battle away on the near board. And Murray digs it loose to Yanni. Far point to Chelios, a long shot, and a save by Walmsley, and he holds with Thomas right there trying to provide some difficulty for the Calgary goaltender.
Walmsley makes a terrific save on Steve Thomas. We talked about Thomas being a streak player. He's had 3 quality chances here in this first period after scoring a goal and an assist last night, only his 9th of the year. their 40-goal performance last year. Thomas tries a one-handed move around Natras. It deflects over to Graham, who gets it by McCowan. Thomas all alone fakes, and Walmsley wouldn't go for it, and he kicks to his right and makes a good save. Good second effort by Graham to get it to Thomas, and then Walmsley, terrific save to keep it a 1-0 Chicago lead. Then right after that, the shot from the point, Thomas cut in front and swatted at it. Walmsley, another good save.
Now the draw. Cleared back into the Chicago zone, and behind the play, Moose Hill and Larmer get the sticks up, and hardly something that's commonplace, especially for Larmer. Moose Hill drawing the ire of a couple of other Chicago players. You guys take pokes at him, and
we were familiar with Musil when he played for the North Stars. He used to wear the big shield. He used to agitate a lot of Blackhawks, and maybe some of the Blackhawks still have fond memories of Musil. Musil is taken off the shield, and it looks like they'll be offsetting minor penalties. First, it looked like it was going to be Larmer and Musil, and now Conroy comes in as well. There should be 2 minor penalties on Musil, I would believe, and single minors to each of the Blackhawk players. I don't think there'll be a power play out of this. Musil and Larmer staring at each other, and Vines gets in to separate them, and then Conroy comes in and has a shove for Musil. I think that Conroy and Larmer will get single minors, and I think Musil will probably get a double minor. Flames have already had 3 power plays here in the first period. Hawks have yet to have a chance with the man advantage. Well, now the Flames are going to get another power play. Well, the Flames getting some home cooking here. This will be the 4th power play of the first period. The Blackhawks yet to have the man advantage.
Larmer. Into number 5, Steve Conroy. Into the Flames, number 3, Frank Musil. Each 2 minutes for roughing. The time, 13:30.
well, the Flames go back to the power play.
All roughing penalties to Larmer, Conrad, and Musil at 13:30. The Hawks once again find themselves short-handed. They allowed 1 power play goal last night in their loss to Edmonton and 5 chances.
Here's the draw. Manson trying to play some keep away, then clears it to the Calgary line. Al McInnes gave it to Joe Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk put it over the Hawk line, but put himself offside in the process, and the whistle sounds.
Standing up at the line, outside the line, forced the extra move. Nieuwendyk trying to make a backhand pass, but he had to make a move, and he put himself across the line, forcing the outside with only 20 seconds gone off the penalty clock.
Jeremy Roenick now second on the Hawks scoring list with 61 points so far this year. In his last 12 games, 9 goals and 12 assists for Roenick. Here's the draw. Al McInnes drives it in. Belfour leaves it behind the net to Chelios, who was covered by Nieuwendyk on the play. Then Fleury stole it. Out to the line, McInnes. Deep slot to Suter. Near board, Makarov. Gave it to Suter. His long center pass hit right on. Belfour, a great save on a Nieuwendyk deflection. And then it's cleared to the near side. And behind the play, a problem as Chelios gets knocked down by Nieuwendyk. Then Belfour leveled him. And Mark Vines trying to keep the peace, as is Mike Civic.
Well, Schick just looked at it. Nieuwendyk finally swatted Chelios in the face. And Belfour came and gave Nieuwendyk a whack. And only it looks like Belfour is going to get the penalty.
Now Nieuwendyk heading off also, but we'll give you an update on all the penalties in a moment. 1-0 Chicago.
Well, Chris Chelios is going to be sent off as well. He and Nieuwendyk. Suter lets it go. A neat deflection by Nieuwendyk. Great save by Belfour. Nieuwendyk's knocked down by Chelios. No penalty's going to be called. Nieuwendyk gets hit again. No penalty. He turns and slaps Chelios with the stick and then gets him around the face. Chelios takes a bit of a dive, and then Belfour comes in and gives Nieuwendyk a shot. And it looks like that only Chelios, another power play situation for the Flames. Well, Schick is missing a great hockey game. He's really been giving the Blackhawks a shaft here in the first period.
For the Flames, number 25, Joe Nieuwendyk, 2 minutes for high sticking. 14-19. Belfour, 2 for roughing. Chelios, 2 for cross-checking.
Only the single minor to Nieuwendyk and minors to Chelios and Belfour. The same situation that happened.
And now I think Chelios is going to get some more. He's going to get at least a 10-minute misconduct. And let's see if that's all it's going to be. Chelios, irate in the penalty box, was screaming at Rob Schick. And Schick had enough. And he's going to give him at least a 10-minute misconduct. And let's see if there's any more tacked on besides that.
Well, you can see why Chelios would be upset. It's the second time in the last penalty situations where Musil gets only a single minor. Conroy and Larmer both got minors. And then Nieuwendyk only gets a single, and Chelios and Belfour get a single minor. So the Flames are going to have a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Well, Chelios did give him an extra shot when he was on the ice, but that right there is
Nieuwendyk gave him twice.
Penalties. It should be coincidental penalties there, and Belfour just trying to protect his player who had just gotten whacked in the face.
So the Flames will have a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 11 seconds. They're already on their 4th power play of the period. The Blackhawks yet they've had a man advantage, and hasn't been that one-sided of a situation. No penalty call there. No penalty call there, though they might have been penalty. Here, a swat, and then this. As far as those are concerned, those were even, and Nieuwendyk hits him in the face with the stick, and Belfour comes in. Schick in the last situation, Musil had altercations with Larmer and Conroy, and Larmer and Conroy both got penalties, and Musil only got a single minor. Musil should have gotten a double minor, and there, Nieuwendyk with a double minor as well to offset the penalty. Well, the Hawks really not getting any help from Schick tonight.
Last time I saw the stats, the Flames and the Hawks were 1-2 in the league in penalty minutes, and it seems as if the predisposition of the referee tonight is that only one team has been guilty of any infractions in the game. Well, now the Flames have a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 11 seconds. Not only that, the Blackhawks have lost their top defenseman for 12 minutes of the game. And Mike Keenan taking his time here to show his dissatisfaction with Rob Schick. Flames have their 5 out there ready to go. The Hawks slowing things down here, and it is deliberate on the part of Keenan. He sends his captain out to talk to the referee again.
Well, 19,000 plus people here in this building expecting a great hockey game. I didn't come here to see a guy in a striped shirt to put on a performance.
Here, he's going to get Schick over to the Hawk bench. And now finally he sends a couple of players over the boards to get ready to try to kill this 2-man disadvantage. This will be the 17th time this year that the Blackhawks have been 2 men short. The Flames, we talked about Doug Riseborough earlier, and his dissatisfaction with bad penalties on the part of Calgary. Calgary has been short by 2 men this year 27 times already. This is the 17th time the Hawks have been short by 2 men. They've allowed 6 out of the first 16 to be scored against them. Here's Gilmore, near point to McGinnis. Deep slot Suter. 5-on-3 for Calgary. Now Fleury tries to center it. Nice block of the pass by Yanni, who steals but couldn't get it out. Deep slot McGinnis. Put it to the near side. Gilmore centered it. Here's Otto. Put it in front, and Fleury couldn't tap it into the open side. Deep slot McGinnis. He tries to center it. Fleury moves in front. Couldn't get rid of the shot. Back of the net, Gilmore. centered one. Otto back to Fleury. Now here's McGinnis, a shot. Nice save by Belfort through a screen. McGinnis again. Near circle to Gilmore. Centered it. Fleury scores! Aaron Fleury on the two-man advantage. Ties the game at 1.
Well, you're asking a lot of your two-man disadvantage penalty-killing unit to stop this prolific scoring club. But give that one to Rob Schick. So the Blackhawks still will be shorthanded. McGinnis fakes the shot. Slips it over to Gilmore. Gilmore gets it past Trent Niani over to Fleury, and Fleury, with the one-timer, just puts it in past the far post. Belfort fully extended, couldn't get there to make the save.
24 goals now for Fleury, 6 on the power play. Gilmore and McGinnis will assist at 15-10, and still a one-man advantage now for the Flames. Now McGinnis. An errant pass stolen by Manson. He turns and fires it back the length of the ice. Now Brian McClellan got it to Fleury at center. He shoots it in. Taken by Troy Murray, who has time and clears it down all the way. Half a minute left on the Calgary power play. 4 minutes to go in the first period. The game tied at 1 as Suter banks it over the Hawk line. Reichel shot it around the boards. Now back to the near side. Lemieux chases after it. Couldn't get it by McGinnis. He misses Suter with a feed. And the Flames have to regroup at center. Al McGinnis puts McClellan over the line. Ryan McClellan bumped by Lemieux. It came free behind the Hawk goal. Dug out of there by Roenick. Now the Hawk penalty's over. Both teams at full strength. Gilbert chasing into the Calgary zone. Got tied up, and McCowan the other way. And he clears it down into the Chicago zone. Steve Thomas on the near side. Got it to McGill. To McKegney. He was stopped, though, at center ice. Yanni carries on. Gave it to Steve Thomas. Thomas cranks a long shot. It's blocked by Jim Kite. And now corralled by the Flames. And Conroy fires it back into the Calgary zone. Here's Jamie McCowan. Sends it to the far side. Roberts able to shoot it to the Hawk line. Conroy dumping it back into Calgary territory. Goulet tries to center, but nobody home for Chicago. Picked off by Kite. Gary Roberts rolled it loose to center ice. And now it bounces around, taken by Graham over the line. He's got Goulet coming, and he had his stick tied up. Nice play by McCowan, preventing a Graham pass. Now on the far side, the Flames come up with it. Robert Reichel comes over the Hawk line. Reichel crisscrossing, drops it to McClellan to his backhand. He tries to center one. It's picked off by Graham. And the Hawk captain clears it the other way. It's going to be an icing call against Chicago with 2 minutes left in the period. Well, considering the circumstances, Dale Talon, I would imagine if the Blackhawks get out of this first period even, they got to be very happy about it.
Well, coming off a disappointing overtime loss, they've had a good first period, considering that the Flames have had 5 power plays in the first period, and the Hawks have yet to have one, and it's only a 1-1 hockey game, and they've had at even strength. They've had an edge in the play and have had better scoring chances.
If you joined us late, Steve Larmer, breaking into the Calgary zone, fired a high, hard shot off the headgear of Mike Vernon, who was not only dazed, but cut on the play. He's got 9 stitches to close a wound in his forehead, and that happened at the just under the 5-minute mark of the first period. So Rick Walmsley is on in relief of the starter Vernon. Now McGinnis deep in his own end. Now McGinnis gave it to Musil, feeding Gilmore. Gilmore to the Hawk line, got turned around, then it's carried on by McCoy. He centered one, comes through to the near side. McGinnis shooting. The net knocked off the moorings, though, and the whistle had sounded.
And net was knocked off, but Belfour didn't know that, so he concentrated well and still played the fact that McGinnis was going to come and let one rip, and he made the save. Gilmore carrying the puck up. Tries to split the defense. The puck stays behind. Picked up by Mateau, the rookie, the big defensive forward. Puts it across. And Fleury was knocked into the net, knocking it off his moorings. Belfour didn't realize that, and he had to concentrate and play McGinnis. And Doug Wilson was able to get away from that shot. Ankle-high shot can be very dangerous for a defenseman trying to block a McGinnis attempt.
Jim tight at the near point. His long drive doesn't get through. Roberts to the corner, and Makarov tries to center. Came in front. Belfour sweeps to the side. Now corralled by Makarov to the line. Tight with a long shot. That hit somebody in front. And cleared back to center. Creighton putting McKegney over the line. Tony McKegney tries to center one. Wansley sweeps to the side. And Conroy holding it in. And Neuendijk able to bank it back to the Hawk line. Now into the Calgary zone, but Otto steals from Thomas, feeding Roberts. Now Mark Hunter on right wing into the Hawk zone. His shot deflected by Conroy over the glass and into the crowd with 52 seconds left in the period.
Now, Steve Conroy, originally drafted by the Flames when they were in Atlanta, fourth in 1980. I think it was the fourth pick of the Flames. Junior in Oshawa, then was traded to the Islanders, and then came to the Blackhawks in '88. And boy, he's been a pillar of strength on the Hawk blue line, as steady as anybody.
Blackhawks got some help today in terms of the overall standings. Boston got shellacked in Pittsburgh 6-2, so the Bruins remain 4 points behind Chicago in the overall point race. Now Murray and Otto to the left of Belfour. Here's the draw. Murray won it to Wilson. Bearing to center, and Natras throws it right back in. Now Doug Wilson banking it back into the Calgary zone. McCowan back to put the touch on it. More an icing call against Chicago.
Well, Jamie McCown, talking about steady performers, Steve Conroy, Jamie McCown has been an outstanding defenseman the last couple of years with a remarkable recovery. He missed a whole year with a badly broken arm in a car accident and came back and has really blossomed into a solid defenseman, a free agent out of Ohio State.
Leading the league with a plus 29 at the moment. Last year was a plus 34. Takes off to the left of Belfour. Half a minute left to go in the period. Murray now against Gilmore for the draw. Gilmore won it to Suter, who lets it go, and a save by Belfour. Drops it to Manson around the board, and Gilmore holds it in. Back of the net to Fleury. He centered one. Picked off and cleared in front. Belfour able to stop the attempt by Gilmore. The puck was bouncing, and Gilmore just hacking away at it, but Belfour held him off.
Gilmore winning the face-off. Suter letting the shot go. Belfour juggled, put it behind the net, and then Fleury poked it out. But both Hawk defensemen had vacated the front of the net. Gilmore beats Troy Murray to Suter. The juggle into Manson. Manson had relaxed and thought that Belfour was going to keep it, but the puck came to him, and he was rushed from behind by Fleury. Now Conroy and Manson both drift over to the right corner, leaving the front of the net open to Gilmore. And Belfour was in too close to Gilmore, not allowing him a chance to put it over him.
Now the draw. Gilmore wins it again to the far side. Roenick knocked him down there. Into the corner goes Mateau. Had it knocked off his stick and back to center. It's taken by Larmer. He stopped there. McInnes rolled it ahead, and that's going to do it for the first period. 14 shots on goal for the Calgary Flames in the opening period tonight, and 10 shots for Chicago. 1 goal each way. Bob McGill held in a clearing effort and took a long shot that hit a Calgary defenseman and deflected into the net. McGill credited with his 3rd of the year, unassisted at 9:15. And the Flames with a 2-man advantage take advantage as Theron Fleury scored from Gilmore and McInnes at 15:10 to even the score. After 20 minutes in the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary, it's the Hawks 1 and the Flames 1. So begin at full strength for both teams, although Chris Chelios still has some time left to serve on a misconduct penalty.
Pretty tough first period for Chelios. Got hit a couple times by Hunter, hurt his shoulder. Whacked a couple of times by Nieuwendyk. 10-minute misconduct besides the penalty.
Here we go now as the draw is cleared to the Hawk line. Otto stopped by Conroy, who knocked him down. Then Fenton picked it up. Paul Fenton got it to the near corner. Hunter and Murray banged together behind the net. Puck came loose to Otto. He threw it to the line. McCowan, whose shot is blocked by Graham nicely. Rolled it ahead to Thomas. 1 man to beat. Thomas in on Natras. Stick handle to the slot. Shoots. And Natras deflected the shot wide nicely. Coming to the near side. Thomas keeping it in. Battles to the slot. His shot deflected up high. Off the glass. And then McCowan able to clear it back into the Hawk zone. Here's Thomas, the lead for Roenick, and the pass broken up by McInnes. Otherwise, Roenick was in as he came on a player change and was behind everybody. Got back into the Hawk zone. On the near board, Larmer. Larmer unable to clear it, now gets another chance, and he'll skate it out to center ice. Dave Larmer on right wing over the Calgary line. A quick stop, threw it across to the late coming Roenick. McInnes stepped into him, and it's taken away by Gilmore. Then Larmer got it back. Larmer trying to center, hit the side of the net. Coming to the near corner, Gilbert poked it in behind the goal. Larmer has it there. Leaves it for Roenick. Working on Gilmore. And Gilmore made a nice play, took Roenick off the puck and won the battle of the boards, and Gilmore cleared it to center. Fleury over the line against Manson, who knocked it off his stick. And Dave Manson feeds Jeremy Roenick to center ice. He fires a long shot as the Hawks head for a change. Gilmore banking it out to center. Roberts after it there. Dropped it to Fleury. He centered it, tipped right on, and a save by Belfour on a Roberts deflection. And now Adam Creighton the other way. He looks for McKegney on right wing, moving on Nieuwendyk. But Joe Nieuwendyk able to stop the rush, and back come the Flames. Nieuwendyk in on Conroy to the far side, stopping. He centered, and Makarov's stick was tied up in the slot. Here comes Creighton out for Chicago. Creighton rolled it too far for Grimson, and it hacks up over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, Stu Grimson originally drafted by these Flames. Toronto and Detroit playing back-to-back games this weekend. Detroit takes a 3-1 lead. Gallant back in the lineup. The shot, the deflection. Yzerman and Gallant back together. Gallant missing a lot of the year, and Yzerman has been on a tear of late. He tucks it in. Wendell Clark, banger and crasher for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Richardson getting the drop pass, cranks it up, and Wendell Clark deflects it as he was upended and went crashing into the Detroit net. That's one way of putting it in.
So it's 3-1 Detroit in that game. Meanwhile, Gallant had scored earlier, so that's 3 goals in 2 games for Gerard Gallant, and if he's back to full strength, that would be a major lift for the Red Wing team. Face off in the Calgary zone, and McClellan cleared it to center ice. Robert Reichel waits for help, doesn't get any, so he shoots it in. Roy Murray behind that got tangled up. Now the puck came around the boards, and Dirk Graham cleared it to the far side. Murray put it to the feet of Lemieux, and Mateau took it away. Now Now the neutral zone. Lemieux, a good hit on Kite along the boards. Jocelyn Lemieux able to take it away. And his pass is stolen. Here's a long shot by Mateau. McGill went down to block it. Held in, and McGill got another shot blocked on Reichel. Now it comes into the corner. Here's a centering pass. McClellan, he shot one wide. Rebound to the side of the net. They scramble there. Belfour made a save on a stuff shot by McClellan. Came to the line. Suter holds it in. And then run over by Lemieux, who deflects it back into the Calgary zone. Jim Kite cleared it to center. Here comes Neuendijk over the line to Mark Hunter. Hunter in on Manson, forcing him to the corner. Leaves it there for Otto. Joel Otto tries to center it, deflects to the neutral area. And the Flames dump it in from there. Here's Manson, the last man back. Nearly coughed it up, trying to beat two players, but managed to sweep it back into the Calgary zone. And Wamsley put it to the near side. Hunter. Bumped by Jeremy Roenick. And they pin it up against the boards.
Ed Belfour, very active goaltender, likes to get involved, is quite a competitor, very physical goaltender. We saw him knock down Neuendijk and get a penalty. I think he has 20 minutes in penalties this year, and now he interferes with McClellan in that situation, and lucky he didn't get another penalty there.
Face off to the left of Rick Wamsley, and the draw is taken by the Flames. McInnes. He leaves for Musil, who can't get it out. Then Roberts does clear it to center. Makarov poke checked at the Hawk line nicely by Yanni, and the Flames are forced to dump it in. Bob McGill, either to Trent Yanni. Now it's cleared to the neutral zone. McInnes able to get away from two checks, then clears it to the Hawk line. Makarov went down there. It's stolen, and Gilbert back to the Calgary line. Surrounded by Flames, and it's taken away by Frantisek Musil. He shoots it back into the Chicago end. Taken by Thomas. Steve Thomas motors up the near board to the line, shoots one well wide of the target. And McClellan lost the handle, came loose in front. And now to the line where it's held in by Conroy. Put it to the near circle. Murray takes a look, leaves for Conroy to shoot one right on, and a save by Wamsley. And he hangs on.
Well, Steve Thomas has just been flying every shift tonight. He's had a chance to shoot or get a shot on goal, and that time he had just deflect wide, and the puck caromed out in front, and he slashed Wamsley, allowing Graham to get to a loose puck, and then Conroy finished it off with a long shot that Wamsley held on to.
We were talking with Cliff Fletcher about the Calgary schedule. The Flames have only 10 road games left this year. 18 at home, including tonight. Flames so far this year on their home ice, 14-7-1. They've won their last 5 here in this rink.
And they've outscored their opposition 33-10 in those 5 games.
Now here's the draw in the Calgary zone. Lemieux behind the net, leaves it there for Hudson, who gets knocked down. Now Thomas in there after it. He leaves it behind the Calgary goal once again. Lemieux trying to jam it out of there. He does, but right to the stick of the Flames' Jim Kite. And he pushes it out to center ice. Here comes Mark Hunter over the line to Otto. His shot right on, and a save by Belfour. Good save as Conroy went down to block it, but didn't. Tough stop for Belfour. He makes it. The game is still tied at 1.
2-on-2 situation. Hunter gets a step around Manson, drops it to Otto. Conroy tries to block it, and good concentration shown by Belfour. Otto shoots it waist high, but Belfour didn't pick it up till it got by Conroy. That's always a tough save for a goaltender. The defenseman sliding in front, trying to block. Only 10 goals against in his last 7 road games for Ed Belfour. 2 shutouts. He got 4 last night, too, so he had given up only 6 in his last 6 road games prior to last night's game.
Here's Doug Wilson sending it to the center ice area. Mattress puts it back over the Hawk line. Then it's layered again to center. Ronick and McCown in quite a duel along the boards. Now Gilmore picked it up. His speed picked off by McGill. And he slips it into the Calgary zone. And a penalty coming up off the play, and it may be McCown. As Rob Schick detected some action away from the play, and Jamie McCown has a seat for the Flames.
The Blackhawks are going to get a power play. McCown was tied up by Goulet at the blue line, and McCown took exception to it as he got up. He gave Goulet a shove. Goulet tried to interfere with McCown to set a pick at the line, and McCown didn't like that. Gave him a little bit of a shove, and that forces the Flames to a shorthanded situation. A real tough call as far as McCown was concerned. He hardly even hit Goulet. But the fact that the Flames had 5 power plays in the first, I think they might have had something to do with that call. The Blackhawks with their first power play. Coming into tonight's action, they were 63 for 271. And well, the Flames power play second overall, but their penalty killing has been suspect. Only 14th in the league. They've given up 59 goals.
Their most recent outings, the Hawks have scored at least a power play goal in their last 9. 16 goals in the last 9 games, 16 out of 47 for Chicago with a power play. Here's Murray on the far board. Side of the net to Creighton, trying to center it, didn't get it through to McKegney. Murray has it again along the board. Walks to the deep slot, then shoots one. Walmsley stopped it. Rebound to the far board, moves still. Couldn't get it by Murray. Murray on the far side, and it knocked away. Wilson trying to keep it in. Now he and a Flame hit the deck, and then it's batted out to center with a glove by Otto. Dave Manson bearing to Tony McKegney over the Calgary line. Stops on the near board. Rolled it in behind the net. Creighton has it there. Back to McKegney near side. Far point to Wilson. His long shot. Walmsley stopped it. Rebound cleared down all the way. A minute to go on the Hawk power play. Dave Manson deep in his own end. Now able to clear it to Wilson. He feeds Larmer to the line. Stops on the far board, then to the corner, and Goulet works in behind the Calgary goal. Put it to the near point. Yanni with a long shot. It doesn't get through. The race is on. Paul Fenton's going to have a break. Fenton over the line against Yanni, cutting in. Yanni able to tie him up, and he prevented a shot. Good hustle shown by Yanni against the very speedy Paul Fenton, who made the shot block and then had the momentum going in his favor. But Yanni managed to hang with him and prevent a shot without drawing a penalty.
Yanni cranks it up. He's got Ronick open on the far side, but he tried to put it through Fenton, and Fenton was able to block it. Good recovery by Yanni. He angles him off. Fenton tried to duck in and lost possession. Belfour held on, and then Fenton looked like he deliberately knocked the net off its moorings. A good play on his part to nullify a countering play by the Blackhawks.
Half a minute to go in the Chicago power play. Face off outside the Blackhawk line. And here's the draw. Taken by Roberts. Got right around Manson. He's in. He shoots, and a save made by Belfour. Excellent opportunity for Roberts, but Belfour bails out Manson, and now it's dumped into the Calgary zone. Roberts, their Suter back for it. Got a rough ride behind the net, and Larmer stole it. To Thomas. He tries to put it to the far point and is held in there by Manson. And Thomas along the boards. He's centered it. Larmer forced to turn, then shoots one right on, and a save by Walmsley. The Flame penalty is over, and both teams are back at full strength. Roberts was stopped at center, and now Dirk Graham slides it into the Calgary zone. Gary Suter just fires it back the other way, and it's going to be an icing call against Calgary as we pause for a regional break. 11 left in period 2. The Hawks won and the Flames won. With Dale Talon, Pat Foley back in Calgary. Nearly halfway through the second period. Bob McGill scored for Chicago. Theron Fleury on a 2-man advantage for Calgary in the first. And that's where we stand. Here's the draw. Taken by the Flames. A lead for Reichel, but McGill rides him, and Reichel fought off the check. Centering. Big save by Belfour. What a play by Reichel to fend off a check and make an excellent centering pass. Creighton the other way, trying to steam in behind the goal. And Musil took him right off the puck. Now Fenton cleared it to center ice. Then got it back. Paul Fenton over the Hawk line. Leaves it for Hunter. He dropped it back. Stolen by Gilbert. Ahead to Creighton. Has room. Racing over the line. Has McKegney coming. Gave it to him. McKegney the shot. Didn't get anything on it as it was off the heel of his stick. And the Flames cleared back to center ice.
Oh, a good shift for Reichel. Great play to set up a goal and a good defensive play there to break up McKegney's opportunity.
Now Yanni in his own end, up the far board to Thomas. He comes into McCowan. Graham racing up the slot. The pass didn't get through to him as McCowan had the skate in the right place to break up the pass. Now it's dumped into the Hawk zone as McInnes holds for Fleury. He gets there and shoots one right past Belfour, who got caught in no man's land, but it sailed wide. And the great speed of Fleury creates a chance for the Flames. Now in the Hawk zone came loose to Gilmore. He cuts in a backhand. He scores! Doug Gilmore on the backhand. And the Flames lead 2-1.
Just second effort by the Flames, and a relaxed Blackhawk team allowed Gilmore to get to a loose puck at the blue line. Just good play to get it in there by Fleury. Out hustled everyone, got it to Gilmore, and Gilmore with Belfour pulling away from the post, giving Gilmore too much room to the short side. But Fleury just knocked Yanni off the puck and got it over to Gilmore, who pulled away, and Belfour pulled away from the post, anticipating maybe the shot coming more towards right. But Gilmore tucks it in on the backhander. Good effort by Fleury to knock Yanni off the puck and get Gilmore the chance.
Gilmore from Fleury at 10:15. Doug Gilmore with his 13th goal of the year. Flames had been on him a little bit for lack of scoring himself. One of the great playmakers, but he puts the Flames ahead 2-1. Doug Gilmore scoring his 7th goal in the last 15 games for Calgary. And the Flames are out in front. 2-1 as Mateau gave a rough ride on the icing play to Chelios. And a gathering in the corner, but everybody going to start to calm down. I started to talk about Doug Gilmore, Dale, that the Flames had been on him a little bit the way the Red Wings used to get on Adam Oates for lack of shooting. But when a guy's a great playmaker like that, how can you fault him for being unselfish? And it's always been amazing how often his name seems to crop up in trade rumors, especially lately here around the Calgary area.
Well, there were trade rumors, but I don't think there are any trade rumors right now, or if there are, the price has gone up quite a bit.
Now the draw, taken by Doug Wilson. Steps aside from a check, but then lost it to McClellan. McClellan to the far side, walks into the slot. He tries to shoot and shot it wide. Troy Murray picks it up, ran right into McClellan. Now they bang away in the near corner. Otto in there after it, centered it. Hunter the shot, got it wide. Over to the far side, it's held into the corner. Taken now, McClellan trying to center one. It bounces right into the shot. Belfour the save. Rebound cleared back to center ice. Great point-blank chance for the Flames, and Belfour made a good stop. Now a penalty is going to be called here against Chicago. And the Flames will head back to the power play.
Well, twice in this last shift, Doug Wilson first had room to put it around the boards and clear it. Tried a fancy play and ran into McClellan. Then Troy Murray tried the same type of move, ran into McClellan, and it results in a good scoring chance because the Flames get the Blackhawks running around. Otto picks it up with Hunter tying up McGill, and a great save by Belfour, and they call a penalty for holding on Troy Murray, and the Flames will have their 7th power play. Well, the Hawks twice in this shift trying to do something fancy and behind their own net, and both times they got caught, got in trouble. It resulted in a good scoring chance, and as the scoring chance was stopped, Troy Murray came across and pulled down Otto, and he gets a holding penalty.
Now the draw is taken by Manson. There's it deep into the Calgary zone. Sergei Makarov puts Neuendijk over the Hawk line. Neuendijk leads to the near side, put it to the corner, Fleury. He's bumped there by Manson, kicked it loose along the near board. And Creighton able to clear it to center ice. McGinnis drives it back in. Manson turned Makarov around. Now 5 players in the corner after it. Then Fleury came up with it, rolled it to Suter at the line. Suter trying to get around to check, lost it to Manson. Manson has his stick tied up, but then McKechnie able to clear it.
5 power plays in the first and 2 here in this second period. Keenan has had to use some different people because of the first period effect of the power plays. He's Creighton and McKechnie. Now Goulet's out there with Lemieux.
Here come the Flames trying to move in. The rush broken up, and Yanni can't get it out. McGinnis got it around the board. Back of the net is Chelios. Poked it free to Goulet. Michel Goulet moves 2-on-2, trying to feed ahead to Jocelyn Lemieux. He leaves it in the near corner. Then got a rough ride from Suter. They crash to the ice. There's going to be a penalty coming. And as Suter controls, the whistle sounds, and I think Gary Suter will be sent off here for Calgary.
Clearly, Suter got the elbow right into the face of Lemieux. I think he's trying to get back at Lemieux. Lemieux ran him over earlier in the period right at the Blackhawk blue line. Lemieux goes to get the puck, overskates it, and then gets the elbow right in the face from Suter. And Suter goes to the box, nullifying the 7th Flame power play. Only 29 seconds remaining on Troy Murray's holding call, and the Blackhawks will not have many seconds left for the power play. Only 32 left in the period.
So 4 aside as the faceoff will be in the Calgary zone. This tonight is just the 5th game in the last 16 days for Chicago. And after tonight, the Hawks are going to head back home tomorrow for a day and a half or so, and then head to Montreal. They'll be there to meet the Canadiens on Wednesday night. The second half of the road trip out east. Montreal Wednesday, Boston Saturday afternoon, and Hartford Sunday night. Here's the draw taken by Manson, long shot up off the glass. Coming to the near side, and Gilmore. Doug Gilmore gave it to Joe Neuendijk, or Otto rather. Got it to McCowan over the line, trying to center one. Belfour there to steal it. Bounced it to the feet of Chelios, who couldn't control it. Then McCowan shoots one to the net. Has been knocked off the moorings as both Otto and Manson went crashing in there.
Joel Otto is a big man. The last time the Blackhawks played the Flames here at the Saddledome, Otto was out of the lineup. Otto is not afraid of anybody. He's a tough customer. He and Manson have a stare down after they both go crashing into Belfour in the net. 130 minutes and penalties for Otto in 50 games. Spells his name the same frontwards and backwards. Harry Carey would love him.
What can he say? Face-off will be just inside the Chicago line. Just 12 seconds left in the period. Here's the draw to Manson. Cleared a long feed to McKechnie, trying to get around McInnes, who got a piece of him and knocked him down. And now the Flames clear it as the second period comes to an end. And in period 2, the Calgary Flames had 10 shots on goal. The Blackhawks a meager 4, including 2 power play opportunities. So through 2 periods, well, now they add 1 more to Calgary. So it's 11 shots in the second and 25 in the game so far for the Flames and 14 for the Blackhawks. The only goal in the period coming from Doug Gilmour, and a nice backhand shot as Fleury worked hard along the boards to feed him. Gilmour from Fleury at 10:15 to provide the Flames the lead in the game. After 20 minutes in the Saddledome in Calgary, it's the Flames 2 and the Blackhawks 1. Half remains on a Gary Suter penalty, so the Blackhawks start the third with a power play chance. And Ronick, Goulet, and Larmer are out there with Chelios and Wilson. Here's the draw. Taken by Doug Wilson. Goes across to Chelios. And now the Hawks dump it in. McInnes back, turns and couldn't get it past Wilson. Wilson shot it around the board to the far side. Benton chasing after it. Failed to clear it. Held in by Ronick. Near point to Wilson. His long shot. He broke his stick. It's tapped in front. Just past Larmer as Goulet tried to make a touch pass after Wilson shattered his stick on the flat shot attempt. Comes around to the near side. Otto tries to take a dive. Good no call by Schick, and then Otto falls on top of the puck. And the whistle sounds. Steve Thomas had a point in 7 of the previous 11 Chicago games and doesn't have anything to show tonight. With any luck, he could have a couple of points. He's had more chances than any other single Blackhawk player. Here come the Flames now. McClellan hits the line, leaves for Roberts. He put it at his feet, though, and then Hudson flattened Roberts with a big hit. Back into the Flame zone. Lemieux goes hustling in there. Ian McInnes crashed behind the net. And now a couple of others join in as Lemieux tries to pry it out of there. He does. It comes in front of Goulet, and his shot deflected wide. Michel Goulet had a point-blank chance, but he had it deflect wide of the net. Now in behind, Roberts wants a whistle. He falls deliberately on top of the puck. Schick doesn't want to blow the whistle. And now the puck comes free to the far corner. Lucille and Hudson bang there. Now a couple of others joining in again, and finally the whistle sounds, and the tempers are getting short in the corner.
Well, a very physical shift. Hudson, Lemieux, Roberts for Calgary involved. Roberts overplays the puck and pays the price. Good clean hit by Hudson. And the puck goes deep into the Calgary zone. McInnes is hit from behind by Hudson, then Roberts jumps in. And the puck squirts loose, and then Goulet misses a great opportunity as he just shot it wide. And the physical stuff moved to the far corner and forced the face-off.
Now the draw. The Calgary zone. Gilbert has it on the far side to Chelios, a long shot deflected just wide of the top corner. Coming to the near side, Fleury hacked it up the boards, not out. And then it does come to center ice where McCowan was stopped by Chelios, and now he's forced to dump it in there. There's Chelios. Gave it to Trent Yanni. Clearing it out to center. Gilmour scoops it back into the Chicago zone. Taken by Chelios, who goes down, but then Gilbert failed to clear it, and now off the play. The whistle sounds. We may have a player shaken up right along the near. No, it's Rob Schick who got caught in the midst of a couple of players, and Schick hits the deck. And protocol calls for the home trainer to look after any officials that are shaken up, so the Calgary trainer Jim Bearcat Murray is out there, and Rob Schick took that one right off the schnoz. Clearing effort by Greg Gilbert up high, and Schick tried to get out of the way, but that hit him right in the bridge of the nose, it looked like. So Schick shakes off the cobwebs, and we'll get a face-off right at the Chicago line.
Told you that Pittsburgh knocked off Boston this afternoon, 6-2. Hartford with a shutout in the Spectrum, 2-0. 3-3 Montreal and the Islanders in overtime final. And here it's 2-1 Calgary with 12:58 to go.
And Steve Conroy tries to feed Murray. The play broken up. Now Murray does get to it and sends it up the near side. Neuendijk fought off a check to feed Makarov. Scepter on a check, gets over the line, put it in front. Here's a chance, a shot, and a save by Belfour. And as Roberts cut for the net, now a centering pass deflected through to the near corner. Gary Suter picks it up there. Suter got it to Roberts, a bouncing puck. He lost the handle, and Thomas airs it back to the neutral zone. Now Makarov. Either stick tight. Back to Makarov on left wing over the line. Sergei Makarov rolled it to the far corner. Otto centered shot, and they score! Gary Roberts. There was a few seconds before the red light went on, but Roberts managed to stop it by Belfour, and the Flames lead 3-1.
Just second effort by the Flames. It looked like the Blackhawks had everyone covered, but Roberts somehow snuck in behind Otto with a good individual effort to muscle off the puck, get it up front to Roberts. Otto sneaks through. He gets to it before Wilson gets the backhander up front, and Roberts left all alone. And Belfour got a piece of it, but the puck just trickled in past the line, and that gives it a 3-1 lead for Calgary with 12:08 to go in the third.
And that's going to be all for Ed Belfour. Greg Millen's going to get his first regular season playing time of the year for Chicago. Otto and Makarov assist Roberts at 7:52, and Ed Belfour will be given the rest of the night off. And Greg Millen will play the final 12 minutes of the third period.
Makarov gets it in. Manson took the body on him, but Otto somehow gets away from Wilson and beats him to the puck and gets it out front. Forward overskated it, back checking, left Roberts all alone in front. I believe that was Thomas that had the puck get by him, and Roberts was all alone, and he put it through Belfour. Hawks had plenty of guys back. They had enough men for the coverage, but they just allowed the Flames to outwork them in that situation.
14th goal for Gary Roberts, and this will be the first taste of NHL competition for Greg Millen since the playoffs last year. He played half the game in the practice game against the Soviet Red Army team in early January, but that's been it for game action, and this will be the first NHL action for Millen this year. Mike Keenan told me before the game, don't be surprised if he does make a change and give Millen a chance to play. He's been looking for an opportunity to give not only Millen a chance to get some game action, but the chance also to give Belfour a little breather, this being his 50th appearance of the year. With the change made with only 12 minutes left in the third period. 3-1 in favor of the Flames as McInnes in his own end gave it to Otto, clearing it out to center ice. Now taken by Bob McGill. Banks it to the neutral zone. Fleury able to send it into the Chicago end. Millen out of the net to put it to the near side, and McGill feeds Goulet. He was stopped at center. McGill bounced it to the Calgary line. That play broken up, and McGill has to hurry in his own end as Fleury's hustling, poked it free into the corner. Now Mateau rolled it in behind the Hawk net, but Goulet is on it there. Michel Goulet got it to Steve Larmer. Larmer flips it up high. Roenick corrals it, gets the line, but he's surrounded, and it's cleared back to center ice. Now put in behind the Calgary goal. Mattress airs it to the near side. Yanni trying to hold it in, but it's picked off, and Mateau the other way. In on Chelios, and Mateau sends it around the board. Here's Chelios to Larmer. Now Hudson racing in over the flame line. In on Suter. Cut for the net. Centered one. Too far for Grimson in the slot. And back come the Flames. Roberts unable to get around Chelios. And Jocelyn Lemieux steps over the Calgary line. Lemieux to his backhand. Shoots one. Walmsley stops it. Rebound to the near corner. Hudson digs it out to Manson. He turns and shoots. And a save by Walmsley. Rebound to Roberts, clearing it out to center. Conroy has it there. And a whistle off the play. Another penalty is going to be called as Roberts is slow to get up. And Manson is quick to head to the penalty box.
Well, no time to take unnecessary penalties, and it's going to be a cross-checking call against Manson with just under 10 minutes to go. They can ill afford to take penalties. They've got to get some goals here. This will be the 8th power play of the night for Calgary. The Blackhawks have had 3. They're 0 for 3. The Flames have 1 goal with the power play. A cross-checking penalty on Manson, and clearly he moved in from the point position and got Roberts in the back, sent him crashing to the boards. Roberts slow to get up, goes to the bench.
Well,
down 3-1. The penalties really have hurt the Blackhawks. They didn't get much of a break in the first period, but last night and tonight they've taken some unnecessary penalties.
How much of that do you think, how much of those bad habits creeping in are the fact that the Hawks have been so inactive? 5 games in 16 days tonight for Chicago, and in each of the last 2 games, some undisciplined penalties have crept in, and that has not been a problem, generally speaking, this season. Makarov on right wing at center. Cleared it over the line. Here's Suter with room. He shoots one, and he fired it wide. And McKegney then cleared it to center ice. Makarov back into the Hawk zone. The Nieuwendyk to the late man McInnes. His long shot misses the net. And Karams back to center ice. Hudson gets it away from Suter. Tries to center it, and Walmsley out of the net. They clear it to center. Here's a 2-on-1. Makarov in over the line with Fleury. Makarov cuts in on Wilson. Centered. Wilson broke up the play beautifully and hammers it down the ice. A minute to go on the Calgary power play. 3-1 in favor of the Flames. As McCowan hits the Hawk line. Peels off on the far side and shot it around the board. McClellan works the near side. A couple of others in there as well as they hack away, and the whistle sounds.
Only 34 seconds remaining on the 8th Flame power play. Greg Millen does not have the best record in the world against the Calgary Flames. 2-9-4 in the 4.84 goals against average. But last year he came up and won 5, lost 4, and tied 1. Was yanked, I believe, 3 or 4 times in the playoffs, and every time came back and had good performances. But the last time he got yanked was in Game 4 against the Oilers after the first minute of the second period of Game 4, and that's his last action.
Neither starter completes the game, and early in the hockey game at about the 5-minute mark, Steve Larmer ripped a high, hard drive that hit Mike Vernon right in the face mask on the top of the helmet, and Vernon not only was dazed, but suffered a cut which required 9 stitches, so Walmsley came on to replace him. And Belfour, after giving up the 3rd Calgary goal at 7:52 of the 3rd, is yanked for Millen. Here's the Flame power play, and Reichel to the deep slot. They still held it into McCown. He centered it, tipped right to the goal mouth, and Millen trying to corral it. He does. And the whistle sounds.
It was almost a 5-on-3. Adam Creighton had broken his stick in a slash attempt against Reichel. The Flames utilizing that opportunity, moving the puck back and forth, and a fake slap shot by McCowan across the middle of the box over to McClellan, but it was slowed and deflected by Wilson. Wilson had moved from right to left, or I should say Millen had moved from right to left and stacked his pads. The puck stayed under him.
The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Channel and WBBM solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this game without the consent of Sports Channel and WBBM Radio in Chicago is prohibited. As soon as they drop the puck, the Manson penalty will be over, and the Hawks will have 8 minutes left in the third to try to do something about a 2-goal deficit. Here's the draw. Back to the line, held in by the Flames tight. Put it to the side of the net. Big scramble there. Millen able to pin it up against the side of the goal. Then he takes a swing at Big Joel Otto as he went crashing to the front of the net. And a gathering there, but that's all for now. With 8 minutes left in the third, it's Calgary 3 and Chicago 1.
Replacing Ed Belfour at 7:52 of the third period. He's had little action. It's got to feel pretty good to Greg Millen to get back first last night on the bench. He's not been backing up. He's been in the press box most of the time. That's frustrating. And there used to be
Blackhawks last year, and
as you said, everywhere he's been, he's used to being the #1 guy, playing 50 or 60 games every year, and now this season has not played a game until tonight. And certainly a veteran guy like that, other people in the same situation might create a problem. They might create some controversy. They might pop off in the media. Greg Millen has not done any of that. In fact, he's been such a positive influence on the Chicago team that Mike Keenan has brought him on the road all year long. And he wouldn't do that if the guy was creating a problem. I really give Millen a lot of credit for biting the bullet this year in what has to be a very frustrating season for him. McGinnis a long shot, and Millen kicks it aside. Coming to the near corner, Mark Hunter trying to jam it out with help from Otto. Now Hunter unable to pull the trigger, and Gilbert clears it to center ice. Ryan McClellan gave it right to Gilbert. Now Creighton gets it to the Flame line. McKegney got it behind the Calgary goal. And Gilmore takes over. Trying to clear it, and does get it to center ice. Here's Rick Natras. And he shoots it in behind the Hawk net.
once again another solid shift for Gilmore in a defensive role.
Now here's Roberts over the Hawk line, cutting in. He sent it a shot, and a save by Millen. Might have gotten a piece of the post. As Makarov let go a one-timer. Now Makarov behind the net. Near point to Natras. His long shot. Millen the save, and he hangs on. With 2.5 left.
So Millen showing good quickness on that situation. The pass picked off. Neuendijk intercepted the puck outside the Hawk line. Took it away from Yanni. Broke in and got it over to Roberts. And Millen moved quickly from his left to his right. And just got a piece of it. Looked like the Blackhawks were coming on in the from the 10-minute mark on to about the 15-minute mark that the Flames have come back to life. You know, frustrated the Blackhawks and now have started to get some scoring chances of their own.
Calgary Flames tonight. If they hang on to this win, they will equal the LA Kings at 61 points. Los Angeles has a 1-0 lead over Vancouver. That game just starting a little bit ago in the Great Western Forum. So the Kings will need to win that one to remain in first place in the Smythe division. Now the play in the neutral zone as McCowan shoots it in. To Grimson, back for Chicago. Hit it to the far side and took a run at Roberts, but play comes to the near board where Creighton cleared it to center, and Suter right back to the line. Cranks it up, shoots one, and a save by Millen. Rebound to the near board, and Conroy couldn't get it out. Tight. Trying to send a long shot in. It's blocked and winds up back at center ice. And here's a two-line pass from Conroy DeLarmer with 1.5 minutes left to go.
Now the Flames shut the Blackhawks down in the second period, and that was the key period. Power plays helped them in the first period, but in the second period they did it on their own. They really shut them down. Only gave the Blackhawks 4 shots on goal, and it's got to make Doug Risebrough happy. Realize the importance of this game, see what kind of a barometer it might be for his team going into the stretch drive. They've really worked hard tonight and performed well.
Earlier this year, on their first long road trip of the year, the Blackhawks had an Alberta sweep. They beat both Calgary and Edmonton, although there was a Vancouver game in between. But on the second Alberta swing, the Hawks are going to get shut out, losing last night in overtime on Peter Klima's goal for Edmonton, and tonight the Flames limiting Chicago to 1 goal with just 1:16 left in the third period.
9 times this year the Flames have held the opposition to 1 goal or less.
And how about Rick Wamsley? This is his 18th appearance of the year. He has now allowed only 34 even-strength goals, again, in 18 games. The Flames closing in on their 6th consecutive home win. It'll be 15-7-1 for Calgary at home. And they still have 17 home games left after tonight. Here's a chance, a shot and a save on Hudson. Rebound, and Wamsley stopped the chance from Grimson. And it's cleared back to the Chicago zone. Calgary, I started to say, after tonight, they'll have 17 home games left, only 10 on the road. The Hawks, after tonight, will have 13 games left at home and 12 on the road. 3 more away from home to finish this trip. Will be in Montreal on Wednesday night, a 6:20 radio pregame, 6:30 on Sports Channel in Chicago for the Hawks and the Canadians on Wednesday night. Quite a week for the Hawks next week. They've got, after the 2 tough Alberta games this week, the Montreal team's really been coming on lately. The Hawks will see them Wednesday and then into Boston Garden. Following that, a week from today, that'll be an afternoon game in Boston next Saturday. And the play is at center as the clock winds down, and the Calgary Flames have completed their 28th win of the year.
So, a good win there for Calgary. But now, let's find out what's been happening elsewhere around the league. In the Adams division, Boston hold a 4-point lead over Montreal. Buffalo and Hartford both have games in hand, but they've got a lot of ground to make up as well. As for Quebec, well, they're in disarray, as illustrated in this big loss to the Philadelphia Flyers. Division, it's going to be a close race for the title. New York, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are the main contenders, but the New Jersey Devils could yet challenge if they can find form away from home. So far this season, they've won just 8 of 26 on the road. This away defeat was at Pittsburgh. In the Campbell Conference Norris Division, the Blackhawks maintain the best record in the NHL, having lost only 17 of 55 games. St. Louis have 2 games in hand, and they're just 3 points behind. The rest, though, are a long way off. The NHL's most consistent scorer is Brett Hull of St. Louis, and this week he joins that exclusive club of players who scored 50 goals in 50 games. In the Smythe Division, Los Angeles have maintained their 2-point lead over Calgary. In the mid-table position are improving Edmonton, the current Stanley Cup champions, and they could yet challenge for the divisional title as they begin to find their goal-scoring form. In the goal scorers table, Wayne Gretzky of the Kings has topped the ton yet again, and he has a 20-point lead over Pittsburgh's John Cullen, one of 3 Pittsburgh players in the top 10. The 50-goal man Brett Hull lies in 4th place. Rookie Ed Belfer continues to lead the goaltenders table. The Blackhawks goalie has an average of just 2.42. But for now, it's goodbye from the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary, where the Flames beat the Blackhawks by 3 goals to 1, and will leave you with the crucial 3rd goal from Gary Roberts.
Over the line. Sergei Makarov.